particularly like the way Aamir sir works. So iconic. I grew up because mom used to listen to that music most of the time.
What were the different kind of projects that came to you when you least expected them?
It happened so organically. I got a call from the producer.
Chaitanya, lovely to meet you, though this is over Zoom and not in person. And it's also a different kind of experience to do this interview for your Hindi film and not for a Telugu film, isn't it?
If I look back and think about Emai Chesave, I always wanted to work with Gautam sir. Growing up, I always watched him as an actor. And, I'm not sounding, I don't want to sound wrong, but I never reached out to him. The script came to me, It happened so organically. I got a call from the producer and said, Gautam sir wants to meet you, narrate a script. And I was like, wow. And then the same thing with Premam. I watched Premam, got inspired, by it and wanted to sort of bring it to the Telugu audience. Also with Majli and with Majli, all these films just happened. They were so magical that it came from a very neutral space, which I liked. It came from a very honest space, and especially when you end up working with filmmakers that you've grown up watching or grown up being inspired by, it gives you a lot of confidence, because when you feel recognized by these people, it personally gives you a lot of confidence. And I think that's what all these films did to me. And the same thing with Laal Singh also. I was always sort of skeptical to go into the Hindi space. One is because my language is not so perfect. And the second, there is so much talent already there. And, acceptance is always running in any actor's mind. How will we be accepted in a new space? But I think because it was Aamir sir, and because I was playing a South Indian boy in a North Indian film, these things gave me that confidence.
Okay, 2010 was when Yema HSAV released. Now it's like 12 years to have a Hindi debut. What does it feel like to completely start on a blank slate, a clean slate again?
It feels good as an actor, because I'm always looking back at my previous work and I'm very embarrassed about a lot of my work. That's the only way I get to grow, that's right. The only way I get to criticize myself and keep growing. So I have done X number of films till date, and I feel I've grown to a certain level. I've learned a lot. I've had successes and failures. Both have taught me immensely. So having this kind of an experience and now presenting myself to a larger audience, I'm very happy about, because there's a certain experience that I've gathered along the way, and I'm, getting to apply it now. This film has tremendous exposure. It's going to be exposed all over the world. And I'm happy it's happening at this stage of my life where I can sort of be a little bit more mature about my process or wiser about the things or the decisions I make.
Is it also liberating to do this, through a film where you are not doing the box office heavy lifting, and Aamir will handle that part of it?
Yeah, the pressure is definitely not there in a way. I mean, I'm sure the pressure is huge for him. But yeah, for me here it was about going, performing, just being comfortable. There was not, the stress was there initially, about how it's going to shape up. But a couple of months into the process, just doing workshops and rehearsals and just being with the team. In fact, I spent more time with the team off screen than on screen. So that process really helped me ease up. So once we started shooting, it was so much fun. I could purely just go there and be an actor and not think about XYZ. So yeah, I'm fortunate to have him do all the heavy lifting. And I mean, who better can we ask for?
From the little bit I know about your character, you play Laal Singh's friend. The character that we've seen in Forrest Gump. And for this adaptation, your character is called Balaraju and you're from Guntur, isn't it?
Yes, from this small town called Bodipalayam in Guntur district.
Okay. What can you tell us about the adaptation of your role and what it required you to do?
I don't want to like Bubba and Forrest. He wanted to start out a shrimp business, but here it's something. It's very rooted to the South Indian culture. I don't want to be specific about what it is because I want to leave that suspense for the audience. But it's very rooted to the South Indian culture, and also in terms of the language, how they designed it is they didn't want me to speak perfect Hindi. South Indian travels up north, here and there some Telugu words might pop in, or the sounding of the Hindi will be very different from a North Indian born and brought up person. So they left all these organic tendencies, they let it stay with me. They didn't want to correct it. So you'll see a very nice influence of a South Indian flavor in a North Indian setting. So I think that will be very unique, very special.
Okay.
Apart from that, yeah, I mean, they came down, they shot in Kakinada, if I'm not wrong. So they have explored geographically also the places I've come from.
Okay, okay. But your portions primarily unfold during the war kind of a setting.
Yes, we meet in the war, and our journey starts from there.
Okay. Are we talking about the time period that involves the Kargil war?
Yes.
Okay, okay. All right. Also while talking about the adaptation itself, they had to wait for about 8 to 10 years before they got permissions, isn't it?
Right.
But Atul Kulkarni had written the story and the screenplay around 14 years ago. That's what we gather. What were the off-screen discussions about the adaptation itself? Because it's not an easy task to make an iconic film, right? Which is so loved around the globe. So initially, when you got on board, did you try to understand why they want to make it and how they'll make it relevant and still, appealing to those who watched Forrest Gump?
But to be honest to the question, I came in at a very later stage when about 75% of the film was already shot.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I had come in, my character was sort of written as a South Indian, but they did not place any roots to it.
I see.
So I only got involved from my character. They wanted to see if they were going to cast a Tamilian or a Telugu boy. Based on that, sort of define the roots and his way of style, his body language, and his diction, etc., etc. So the previous discussions as such, I'm really not too aware of as to about the adaptation or the whole journey on how the film sort of took shape.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
When did you first watch Forrest Gump, and did you feel the need to revisit it while doing this film, or did you just want to say that let me not have any of those influences while doing this?
I had watched Forrest Gump, when I was probably in school. I remember, and my mom had the soundtrack, the CD. That picture of him sitting on the bench, Tom Hanks sitting on the bench, looking sideways, is so iconic. I grew up because mom used to listen to that music most of the time, mom and dad. So it was always a very close film to my heart. But I didn't understand it for what it actually was, like how my mom, dad, all of them, how they sort of perceived it during their time and how it influenced them. I knew it as a great film, and I knew it as a reference point for a lot of filmmakers for what they had done back then. But it's only when I got the call. I got the call first from Aamir sir's office saying, they're looking to cast someone in Baba's role. And I was like, okay, fine, let me watch it. Like, I need to give them some answer. They wanted to know if I was interested or not in doing it. So that's when I sort of picked up the film and, watched it again. And it influenced me heavily. Because they were skeptical about whether I would do a role that I'm not there, throughout. I'm not the main lead. But after I watched the film, that character, even though he's not there for more than 20-30 minutes, his core, his essence travels with the film, and it sort of heavily influences the lead character, Lal's character. Yes. And it stays with the audience, his purpose and his whatever he came out there setting to do, that purpose stays with the audience till the end, and emotionally he travels with Lal. So that moved me, and yeah, I think watching it again just made me say, okay, I want to do this role.
Workshop process itself, and how different was it from the way you approach a Telugu film? There are a few Telugu filmmakers now who work with bound scripts, who have a few orientation days to get the actors into the mold. Was the process very different for Laal Singh Chaddha?
Yeah, it was very different, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. I mean, I got the script 6 months before I actually went to shoot. It's
Okay.
very rarely, does that happen. Here, I get the script maybe 6 days before. I'm not complaining, but that's each one's process. That's if filmmaking is a creative, is a creative process end of the day, and each one has different creative ways of working. So each one's style needs to be respected. But I particularly like the way Aamir sir works. He spends more time with the actors off screen than on screen. We did a lot of workshops which really helped me open up, and I sort of, when I went on set, I didn't even need to think about remembering my lines, because my lines just flowed, and I knew exactly what to do because I was already told. Everything was so precise about where we're going to shoot, the scene breakdown, everything, the whole process, from the costumes to so many things. I was wearing a mouth brace here to sort of give my character, the character, a certain style. So everything was decided way in advance. I really enjoyed this process. Every day we used to go back and watch our footage, which is very rare. I work with directors who are very scared to show their footage, to very scared to show what they shoot. They're insecure about it. But Aamir sir and Advait want to show it off. And I feel watching our footage every day, we get to learn, we can sort of identify mistakes and improve on it the next day. So yeah, I love the process. Given a chance, I would like to work like this on every film.
Okay, as far as your craft itself goes, did you see a certain kind of a change in how you were in front of the camera? So when you saw the footage?
Yeah, I think, I was able to be more a very honest and truthful actor on this film, because I went in to the shooting, to the shoot without any sort of doubts. Everything was clear in my head, because the pre-production process was given so much importance. So this reflects heavily on my performance, because when I go in without any kind of inhibitions or doubts or questions, it reflects on my performance, and that's what happened here.
This is also a time when a lot of actors talk about pan-India projects, and that's become the most overused term, isn't it? How do you look at things? Do you just want a project to first befit that kind of a national canvas, or if somebody just comes to you with an idea saying, let's make a pan-India project, would you be okay with it even before saying that they have the story ready for it?
No, I see. I think it all, for me, the emotion and the content is key first. I think we need to be true to that. Yes, if I hear a script that I feel is going to be received amongst all audiences, then maybe, yes, would like to package it for a pan-India kind of a film. But if I hear a script that is very rooted to Telugu sensibilities or, Tamil sensibilities, I'd like to sort of penetrate into that market first. And from there, wherever it goes, it's a bonus. See, today we are blessed with the exposure. The technology has changed the game of cinema. The audio, our films are way more accessible now because they're on OTT or on the YouTube or everywhere. So I think we just need to be honest with what we're making and not try to tweak it to, cater to a market that it's not supposed to cater to. I think the content will organically take it where it's supposed to go. If you look at RRR or whatever you had spoken about, it was made purely for the South audience, but it was sort of promoted all over, which, took it everywhere. I think that's the right route. I don't think we should sort of force this whole pan-India thing into something where it doesn't fit into.
Okay. Also, we are talking barely days after Thank You was out in the theaters. Have you had the time to process it and think about the reception to it?
Yeah, it's been shocking, honestly. Of course, for various reasons, there are some flaws in the writing, in the way we packaged it, or in the way my character turned out. The film does have some obvious flaws, but the theater response has scared me. I think going forward, we have to adapt to this. I feel the audience is very comfortable watching a certain kind of cinema at home, in the OTT space, unless it really attracts them to the theater, or unless there's a phenomenal talk from the morning show. They don't see the reason why they should, take the effort and come to the theater and watch it in the theater. They know it's going to be in the OTT space soon, so they're happy consuming it there. Which is the way forward. I don't think we should start fighting this and saying no, they should come to the theater. No, I feel that's the direction the world is heading in, and it's our responsibility as an actor and as a maker to adapt to that and sort of redesign things and recalibrate ourselves to cater to this new system. But
True.
I've not had too much time to reflect. I'm still processing it. But yeah, it is what it is. We learn and move on.
Okay. Meanwhile, you've also been working on a web series with Vikram Kumar, isn't it? How far has that come? Have you finished filming part of it?
Yeah, I have. In fact, I've finished my shoot. I just have my dubbing left. I'm really looking forward to that one. It's I've tried something as an actor that I can't do for the theater. As an actor, I've always wanted to experience or explore gray shades a bit, and stuff like that. And I've gotten that opportunity to do it here. And for the theater, we have that 2 or 2.5 hours to sort of let the whole story unfold and let the character unfold. I've always wanted some more time to sort of bring out the layers, as an actor, and OTT gives me that space to do it. I have about 8 episodes to tell my story, so I enjoyed that format a lot. And going forward, I think as actors we need to balance out both the platforms, theater and OTT, because that's the way the world is headed. And I crave for maximum exposure. And yeah, so going forward, I'm just trying to figure out my space in both the places.
Okay. As a parting shot, as a last question, if I were to ask you, what would be your answer if somebody who has loved Forrest Gump, has grown up watching it, has to watch Laal Singh Chaddha? What would you tell them?
Watch it, because we've not the screenplay and the framework is Forrest Gump, but the writing and the events, the events that they have touched in Laal Singh is very, very personal, and it's very rooted to our Indian nativity and our Indian culture. So I'm very sure that tomorrow when you watch the film, you're not going to compare it to Forrest Gump. You're going to watch it for Laal Singh Chaddha. Yeah, you will go into the theater knowing it's a remake, but you're not going to walk out thinking that. You're how people connected, how America connected to Forrest Gump and the events that happened, through the film, and they saw that journey of their lives unfolding on screen. The same thing is going to happen with every Indian viewer. So yeah, so I would say, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to debate now, because unless you watch it, I can't. I want you to watch it and feel it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thanks so much, Chaitanya. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you, Sangeetha. Same here.